And they were all talking about spiritual things. They were all talking about the baptism of the Holy Spirit. They were talking about the spiritual gifts. And for them, for many of them, they believed that only if you manifested speaking in tongues were you a truly 100% bona fide, Holy Christian. The rest of you poor little rascals that just had baptism and had that experience, y'all working on it. Y'all get back to us, when you get there. When Paul hears that, he goes to the sea. Actually, he writes some fairly angry letters, which they're all combined, what we call 1st and 2nd Corinthians today. There are more than 2 letters in that, by the way. In the passage that I read this morning, from 1 Corinthians 12, it's part of a larger treatise that he writes, 12, 13, and 14, dealing with those Christians that believe that you had to manifest certain things in order to be card-carrying Christians. Chapter 12 is the beginning of that discussion. The first thing that Paul tells us about spiritual gifts, and he tells the Corinthians, is that every gift that comes from Jesus Christ through the Holy Spirit is for the benefit of not you, but of the community. That every gift that God gives us as a present is to be used for the church, for the benefit of the church itself, and for the community around it. Years ago, when I was doing the ministry of healing, much more often than I do now, I made it sure that the first time that I ever did that when we laid hands on a brother that had cancer, that I asked the whole community of 14 of us to all lay hands on him at the same time, just prior to me saying the prayer. Why did I do that? Because I wanted to make sure that they understood clearly that that prayer for that spiritual gift was through the community and not something that was entrusted to one person. Because we do have folks that have been gifted that way, but they have built up a whole ministry around themselves, and people think that they are somehow specially blessed by God. And they make quite a bit of money off of those little deals sometimes. But the deal is that Christ gives us the gifts of the church to be used for the community. So every spiritual gift that we're given, as he talked about it here, healings, miracles, and even glossolalia or tongue speaking and interpretation, is all given to the community for the benefit of the community and not to any one individual, just so they can be taken up somehow, some other spiritual experience. That being said, I do believe that the church, when it does not affirm the existence of spiritual gifts within it, loses something essential in the community.